Hello everyone, welcome to another webinar session from Genesis One. Today's webinar session, we are discussing about understanding of IMS reconciliation and the counterparty. To discuss this webinar session, we have our esteemed speakers and panelists. Let me introduce them. Mr. Chetan Agarwal is a GST expert and support executive from Genesis One. Mr. Abhilash Sharma, also support executive and GST expert in Genesis One. Along with them, Mr. Vinay Luthra, he is the business head at our business unit 𝐈𝐭 at Genesis One. So I'll request all the speakers and panelists kindly deep dive into this particular session that today we wanted to discuss. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. All the speakers and panelists kindly proceed with today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikram sir, for this warm and wonderful introduction. My name is Chetan Agarwal, and I am working in 𝐈𝐭 as an GST support executive, and I am taking care of the issues, queries related to the e-invoice, e-way-bills, and the GST written filings as well. And after that, I would like to tell you something about my 𝐈𝐭 company. As you know that 𝐈𝐭 is a child company of Ginesys One complete ERP solution, and 𝐈𝐭 offering you all the services related to the e-invoice, e-way-bills, and the GST return filing. And we will provide all the seamless integration to all of us, our client. So we will start today's. So as you all know that 𝐈𝐭 is also a subscription-based cloud software solution for the GST compliance, under which we will provide the solution regarding the e-invoice, e-way-bill, outward e-way-bill, counterparty e-way-bill report, and all types of GST return services as well. We will discuss briefly one by one. So what is e-invoice? As you all know it, that e-invoice is an electronic invoice that you need to generate to showcase your B2B transaction to the government, and it is mandatory by the government for that organization whose annual turnover exceeds 5 crore. And what is e-way-bill? E-way-bill is an electronic e-way-bill which is required to transact the goods from one place to another, whether it is interstate or intrastate. If the amount invoice value exceeds the value of rupees 50,000, so we will need to generate the e-way-bill. So after that, what is outward e-way-bill? So there is a major difference between normal e-way-bill and outward e-way-bill. So outward e-way-bill is that e-way-bill under which we need to generate the e-invoice first. Outward e-way-bill is basically a generation of the e-way-bill for the same state. So under this, we have automated e-way-bill system with seamless ERP integration, comprehensive report, and robust data validations for accurate e-way-bill generation via integration. And third one is counterparty e-way-bill report. This is one of the major and the important product which is newly launched by the 𝐈𝐭. Under this report, we will provide all the details regarding the e-way-bill that the supplier has generated against your GST. For example, e-way-bill number, transporter ID, transporter date, mode of transportation, whether it is road, air, water, and the distance, and the active status of the e-way-bill. And basically, it is mandatory for the for those enterprises who have large inventory to manage. So this is also a very good product that we had launched. So after that, we will offering the GST return services. As you all know that under the 𝐈𝐭, we will provide all types of returns like GSTR1, GSTR3B, GSTR6, ISG, GSTR7, GSTR8, TDS, TCS, GSTR9, annual return. And we will provide all types of the reconciliations as well, like e-invoice reconciliation, 8A reconciliation, and the e-way-bill reconciliation as well. Now moving forward, I would like to tell you about the GST assist services as well. It is also a newly product which is launched by the 𝐂𝐨𝐿 GST. It is a premium product for our premium clients, whose this is basically for those enterprises whose data is large and the resources is limited. So under the GST assist service, we will provide seamless raw data gathering, perform and remove the errors if it is coming, and validate the data and ensure seamless matching between your books, or you can say that your composite report and GST precise, reliable, and then provide the financial reporting as well. So this is all about the services that the 𝐂𝐴 GST is providing you, and we will now moving to the next slide. So under this slide, I will show you the strength and the presence of the 𝐂𝐴 GST across the nation. As you can see on the screen, we have present in almost every state in the country, from the top north to the bottom south. We have clients from top to like Dragon Mart, and bottom south to Kalyan Silks, Auto Clothing, and Tripura to Gujarat as well, like V-Mart, Arambagh, Berry Rush. So these are the some of our renowned companies of our nation that will trust on us and believe on us regarding their GST services. So moving to the next slide. Now under this slide, I would like to describe the agenda of this webinar. So there is basically a three agenda of this webinar that we will discuss today in this webinar. So first one agenda is what is IMS, Invoice Management System, which consists IMS data fetch, IMS action, and IMS reconciliation. And after that, our second agenda of today's webinar is FAQ, frequently asked question on IMS, and get counterparty 𝐴𝐴 application. So first agenda will be covered by me, and the second and third one agenda will be covered by my colleague Mr. Abhilash. They will give you detailed insight regarding the frequently asked question that our clients ask for us frequently over the last 2 months, and they will give you the review, detailed review regarding the get counterparty 𝐴𝐴 application as well. So now we will discuss our main part of this today's webinar, which is invoice management system. As you know, it is known as invoice management system, IMS. So IMS is a new functionality called IMS, which allows the recipient taxpayer to either accept or reject an invoice, or you can kept it in the pending state as well, which you can avail later on in future. For example, with the help of IMS, you accept the invoice for which the supplier has filed against your GST as their sales. If it is correct and there is no discrepancies is available between the invoice that your supplier has filed against your GST, so then you have then in this case you have to accept it. And if there is an discrepancies available, then in this case you have to reject, or you can kept it in the pending state as well. And the main thing is, if you are taking no action for the invoice, then it will be considered as the deemed accept. For example, there are basically a three option: accept, reject, pending. 3 states of action you can be able to take on the IMS. If you are not taking any of these 3 action, then the invoice will be considered as the deemed acceptance. And then the main significant point is that all the invoices which you are accepted in the IMS, then it directly goes into your 2B, and from your 2B it is directly auto-populated in your 3B for the exact ITC claim. And for now, I would like to tell you one more thing, that invoice management system is not compulsory yet by the government, but in the near future it might be compulsory from the government side. So now moving to the next slide. Now we have to discuss the key benefit of the IMS. There are some certain benefit is also present of the IMS, invoice management system. So we have to avail this, and I will explain you step by step, one by one. So there are basically five key benefits. Is first one is improve accuracy in ITC claim. This point wants to say that improve accuracy in ITC claim. If you accept the right invoices, which is comes into your IMS, and which is filed by the supplier, and there is no discrepancies is available, then you have accepted. Then it will directly goes into your through 2B, and then after that into your 3B. So second point is ITC litigation reduce. If you are claim your right ITC, so the GST notices will remove. So this point leads to ITC litigation reduce. And third one point is ease for accounting. So previously our practice is to claim the right ITC is that 14th of every month the 2B has to be generated by the government side. So previous practices, you have to download the 2B, and then you have to reconcile it with your 2P. 2P means your 2P purchase register. So now with the help of IMS, you don't need to reconcile. You just need to accept the right invoices or reject the wrong invoices, or you can kept in the pending state as well. So fourth point is transparent for vendor and buyer. This point wants to say that transparent for vendor and buyer. If there is any discrepancies available, so with the help of the EMG portal, 𝐂𝐺ST portal, you can share the mail to your vendor regarding the discrepancy. So these points enable us to remove the discrepancy in the IMS. So fifth point leads to quick communication with the help of EMG portal. You can you can do the quick communication between your vendor and the supplier regarding the invoice, and you can directly do whatever they have to file the GSTR invoices. So now moving to the next slide. In this slide, we have to discuss regarding the current practice and the optional update, which is known as IMS. So we will discuss step by step. Like our current practices, ITC will continue to be linked to documents available in GSTR 2B. As we discussed earlier as well, that current practice is that we have to download the 2B on the 14th of every month. Then we have to reconcile with your books, and then after that we are in the state to get the right ITC in our 3B. But in the optional update, taxpayer can decide which document should be pushed to GSTR 2B while accepting the right invoice. And the second point is reconciliation of purchase register with GSTR 2B. This is the similar point, similar to the point one. Like on the previous month, we have to reconcile the invoices with our 2B, but now almost with the help of the IMS, invoice management system, there is almost nil discrepancies is available. So now we don't need to reconcile the invoices if we using the IMS from the EMG portal. And third one point is communication with vendor to address the discrepancies. So under this system, we have to discuss regarding the discrepancies with the supplier and the vendor as well. But now with the help of the optional update IMS, we can start it early, and impact on ITC could be seen in the same period, which means same return filing period. And fourth point is GSTR 2B will be generated on the system by 14th of the every month. But in the optional update, which is known as IMS, taxpayer can regenerate GSTR 2B, because as we all know that IMS is working on a dynamic nature. It is not static, it is dynamic. So we under the IMS, all the e-invoice is also showing which has the supplier has filed against your GSTR. So now moving to the next slide. Yes, there are some certain steps is also included under the IMS reconciliation, which we can do with the help of the 𝐂𝐴𝐺𝐺 portal. So first one step is, firstly we have to download the bulk IMS download from the EMG portal, which I will show you later on in this webinar. So, and second one option is submit reconciliation logic. So there are some logics is also available in the EMG portal. So we have to apply that logic to reconcile the invoices. After that, step 3 is action on reconciliation result. So we have discussed earlier that there are basically 4 options: accept the invoice, reject the invoice, and kept in on the pending state as well. So we have to take the action based on the reconciliation, whether we have to accept the invoice or not. And step 4 is action summary or regenerate GSTR2B. When we take the action on the IMS from the EMG portal, after that the summary has been created on the EMG portal. Under the summary, all the details is coming or showing for which we have taken the action or not. Now moving to the next slide. Under this slide, I will explain you the step 1, bulk IMS download. As you can see on the screen, firstly we have to log in on the ℎ-𝐺𝐺 portal, and then after that we have to click on the reconciliation button. After that we have to click on the IMS bulk download. After that, we have to select the GST. If you have one GST, you can select one GST. And if we want to do the IMS bulk download at the PAN level, so I can do also same. I can be able to do the same thing as well with the help of EMG portal. Now our second step is IMS bulk download. After downloading the IMS from the EMG portal, there are 2 types of result which is coming, as you can see on the screen. First one is Excel result, and second one is result on the EMG portal UI, Union Interface. So on the bulk IMS download in Excel, you can get all the details related to the invoice, like taxpayer GST, return period, section, whether it is B2B, B2C, supplier GST, invoice number, invoice type, whether it is regular, credit note, debit note, and status, and form type, supplier return period, supplier filing status, whether they filed their GSTR or not, invoice date, invoice value, taxable value, GST rate. All these details you can get from the EMG portal after downloading the IMS from the EMG portal. On the below of the Excel, I will show you the result on the UI of the EMG portal, that it is showing like this. Like you can get all the details of the counterparty GST in section, invoice number, invoice value, taxable value, tax rate, and advanced reconciliation rule is applicable on this invoice or not. So this is basically a 2 interface under which you can get the IMS bulk download, or you can get the IMS result. After that, we have to submit the reconciliation logic as compared to the GSTR2B as per our current previous practice. Like there are some logics which we have to be applied to reconcile the IMS. So first one logic is across financial year logic. This logic wants to say that if your invoice available in your purchase books in some another year, and it will come in your IMS this month, then you have to reconcile the invoices. So you have to reconcile the invoices with the help of across financial year logic. And our second logic is fuzzy logic. This is also a very important logic. This logic helps to match the invoice, under which, if for example, if there is an special character is coming, like slash hyphen in your invoice value, then with the help of the fuzzy logic, we can reconcile or match the invoices. And third one logic is reconcile amended supplier only. If your supplier has amended any invoices and now you want to reconcile that amended invoice, then in this case you have to click on this uh, logic, and with the help of this logic, the uh, amended invoice might be reconciled. And fourth one logic is ignore month logic. As per name indicates that ignore month logic is that if we take this invoice, if we take this logic in our IMS reconciliation, then they will ignore the month of the invoice, and then if the taxable values, counterparty GST in place of supply, all these details are getting matched, then they will fall the invoice into the match category. So these are the some reconciliation logics which we have to apply after the bulk IMS download from the AMG code. Now moving to the next slide. Step 3 is action on IMS, action on reconciliation result. Under this slide, as you can see, there are basically six main six action which we can to take in the reconciliation result. For example, first one is match category. Under this category, all the invoices are fall into under which all the details like invoice value, taxable value, tax rates, counterparty GST in place of supply is completely matched. This means if there is no discrepancies in the invoice that you present in your 2P, and the supplier has filed against your GST, then if there is no discrepancy, then the invoice fall into the match category. And second one category is deemed match category. Under the deemed match category, all the invoices are fallen into, under which we have used the reconciliation. This means all the invoices which we are reconciled with the help of the logics that we have discussed earlier. So all these category, all these invoices under which we have reconciled the invoices with the help of logics are fallen into deemed match. And the third one category is invoice mismatch. Under this category, all the invoices is coming under which there are some some discrepancies available or present, like taxable value, place of supply, counterparty GST. If there are some discrepancies available, then in the invoice, then this invoice fallen into the invoice mismatch category. And fourth one category is value mismatch. Under this category, all the invoices are fallen into, under which there is a discrepancies available related to the value, like taxable value, invoice value. If there are such discrepancies available, then with the help of the logics, all these invoices are fallen into the value mismatch category. Now we will discuss about the IMS only. This is also a very important section in the reconciliation result, that in the IMS only, as per the name indicates, that it shows that invoices which the supplier has filed against your GST, but you have not recorded in your 2P purchase register under the books of your system. And sixth one point is purchaser only. As you can see that purchaser only means under this purchaser only category, all the invoices are fallen into, under which you have mentioned in your books, but your supplier has not filed yet against your GST. Then all these types of invoices comes into the category of the purchaser only. And our last category is original SO amended, original supplier only amended. Under this category, all the invoices are fallen into which you want to amend it with the help of your with the supplier has filed against your GST. So if you want to amend that original SO invoices, then you have to use this category. Now moving to the next slide. Under this slide, all the actions on the reconciliation result is coming that we had discussed on the previous slide, like what is the work of the match category, what is the work of the deemed match category, and what is the work of the invoice mismatch category, what types of invoices are fallen into these, categories. So we had discussed earlier. Now, step 4 is action summary and regenerate GSTR2B. Firstly, I would like to summarize once again. Firstly, we have to download the bulk IMS from the EMG portal. After that, we have to apply them some certain logics that we have discussed earlier. And after that, we have to take on these actions, whether we want to accept the invoice, reject the invoice, or we have to kept in the pending state. So after taking all the actions, now we have to submit these actions on the government portal. So before submit this action on the government portal, there is an action summary or regenerate GSTR2B pop-up is showing on your EMG portal. If I accept the B2B invoices, then it will comes in the accept section. And if I reject the invoice, then it will fall into the reject section. And as to the B2B, there are some other types of invoices as well, like B2B amendment, B2B debit note, B2B debit note amendment, B2B credit note, B2B credit note amendment. So this is basically a summary which will create after taking the action on the IMS on the EMG portal. Now I will show you some live working on the IMS that we have to do while reconcile or perform the reconciliation with the help of the IMS on the EMG portal. As you can see on my screen, that while using the reconciliation with the help of the IMS, firstly we have to log in my in the 𝐂𝐶 account, and as you can see the basic UI of the first page of 𝐂𝐶 portal. So for doing the performation of the reconciliation, firstly we have to come on the pan level, and after that we have to click on the reconciliation button. Then as you can see on the screen, there is an IMS bulk download option is available. So firstly we have to download the IMS on the bulk level, so we have to click over here. After that we have to select our company, and then we have to select the GST, for which we have to download the IMS from the government portal. And then after that we have to click on the add, and then we have to click on the get button. Now as you can see on the screen, firstly I have request the data to download the IMS from the government portal. After that the IMS reconciliation result is downloaded, so we can download it from here as well in the Excel for your reference. After downloading the IMS from the government portal, we have to perform the IMS reconciliation logic that we had discussed earlier in our webinar. That these are some certain logics, and here is the logics explanation is also provided you in the EMG portal. So we have applied the logics across financial year. Before that, we have to select the GST as well, for which GST we want to apply the logics. So after that, we have to submit that. After applying the logics, we have to get the history. Now our reconciliation result is in progress, so we have to wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Once our data has been down, once our logics has been applied on the EMG portal, then we have to go on the IMS reconciliation result, under which there are some category that we had discussed earlier, that match category, mismatch category, deemed match category, value mismatch, IMS mismatch, purchaser only. As you can see, as you can see that on the IMS only, there are 2 invoices is coming, and you can get all the details of the invoices from the UI of the EMG portal as well. After that, you have, if you want to take the action, like all the action is available on the EMG portal. Like if you want to accept the invoice, then click over here. If you want to keep in pending state, then you have to click over here. After that, if you want to reject the invoice over here, then you have to reject. Once the main point is, once you reject the invoice, then it will never come back in your IMS. But if you kept in the pending state of an invoice, then it will continue and come to your IMS in the next month. So it is all the IMS reconciliation from my side. And if I have taken accept invoice, and then I can write some certain comments as well for my reference. So after that, once I have accept or reject or kept in pending state of the invoice, we have to save this result on the government portal as well. So after accepting the invoice, we have to click on the save to GST button. As you can see, I have accept the one invoice, so B2B invoice, then it will comes in the accept section. And so there are multiple category as well. So we have to select as per according to our IMS and as per our requirement. And once I will click on the proceed with save data button, then all the result will go to the GST government portal from the 𝐂𝐴 portal. So this is all from my side in this webinar. Now my colleague Mr. Abhilash will give you the detailed insight regarding the counterparty level, and they will give you the briefing about the FAQ, basic FAQ, frequently asked question regarding the IMS as well. Over to you, Abhilash.
Thanks, Chetan, for one introduction to me. We are discussing on FAQ related on IMS. So we are sharing with you the top 10 FAQ on IMS, which is asked by our client past 2 months. So we are starting with the first FAQ was when IMS was available to taxpayers. So answer is IMS data capturing from 1st October 2024 and first time downloadable from 14 November 2024 for October file data. And it is dynamic in nature, as Chetan said earlier. Every day you can fetch new IMS data. Vendor invoice data will come in IMS T+2 as not filed. Vendor non-invoice data will be available T+2 after GST return every 13th of month. And second FAQ was what will happen to the documents that are kept in pending in IMS. Pending records will continue to appear in IMS until the timeline prescribed by Section 16 of CGST Act 2017. Beyond the cutoff date, the system will remove them as those records will no longer be eligible for ITC. In simple terms, you will get pending data in next month. This means IMS only, supplier only invoice, you should take pending action as pending. Next FAQ is what will happen to accept and reject records. The answer is all the accepted reject records belonging to a particular GSTR 2B period will be removed from IMS upon the filing of GSTR 3B for that period. Only the pending records and the invoices record belonging to future tax periods shall remain in IMS. No action invoice will be deemed accepted. So take action on pending and rejects. And fourth question is, what will the document be transferred to IMS? The documents will be available in IMS as soon as they are saved by supplier in their corresponding GSTR. Supplier has created an invoice after 48 hours. It will reflect in your IMS with filing status not filed. And fifth question is, When can the recipient taxpayer can take action on a record? Before 13th of month, action taken on not filed invoice will be saved till IMS data is available. After 13th of a month, once IMS data is available, you can save your action and can regenerate. And sixth one is, who will have access to IMS functionality? Taxpayer registered as normal taxpayer, including SEZ unit, developers, and casual taxpayer will be able to access IMS functionality. Seventh one is, what is the draft GSTR to be? Under the IMS facility, the the system generated GSTR to be is considered as draft GSTR to be. It is generated on 14th of every month and contains accept, deemed accepted, and rejected codes. Let's see our eighth question. How many times can I generate GSTR to be, regenerate GSTR to be? There is no restriction until GSTR 3B is filed within its due date. Next question, ninth is it mandatory to recompute GSTR to be? If taxpayer take action or change records in IMS dashboard after the generation of the draft GSTR to be, it is mandatory to recompute GSTR to be. Can I download all the data available in IMS? Yes, all the data in IMS is available for download in Excel format from ℏ/GST also. You can download easily as Chetan guided you how to, we can select all the category on and click on the download button. Then we can get the Excel format. Next one is, which record will be available in IMS for taking action? The IMS dashboard will make the following records available related to invoice saved or filed by supplier. The supplier which is filed by in this GSTR1, we can see which invoice come in our IMS. The data will come is B2B invoices, B2B invoice amendment, and B2B debit credit note, and B2B debit credit note amendments invoice. So we are moving forward to our last topic, get counterparty e-bill. Key benefits from the ℏ/GST is the data is only for get counterparty is only 40 hours from the government portal. But if you but we can see, we can fetch and get the data from ℏ/GST whenever you want. So what is the key benefit of the get counterparty e-bill app from ℏ/GST? As we know, we want to know what is the validity of e-bill, who is the transporter, what is the name and address of the transporter, and what is the name or address of our counterparty. We want to know what is the vehicle number, and we can download this report in one single screen, and we can download in pen level wise this report. Also, we can know what type of goods are arriving or where this goods will arrive, HO or store level. It will help us to manage our HSN-wise invoice value and number of items arriving in this report. So we will guide you to how to download this report from ℏ/GST in next slide. Let's see what is the basic step to generate this report from ℏ/GST. First, we have to log in the ℏ/GST, and after this, we have to click on the app section. This user interface will show to our side. Then we have to click on get e-bill from counterparty. Then after the step is, we have to select the GSTL to view which vendor has created the e-bill from using our GSTN. Then after, we have to click on next date add data button. After this, we have to select the date to previous the current date. Then after that, we have to click on the initial process. After this, the report has been executed. Then after, we have to click on the process data. It will take time. It will depends on the how much data it will come into the our reports. After this, we can fetch the report. This user interface is showing whenever the report has been downloaded. Then after we have to click on the report button and we can download our reports. In this report, we can see in next slide what type of data is coming. In this report, we can see that evaluable detail, evaluable date, supply type, doc number, document date, document type, which document type, tax invoice, other challan, and we can see the other counterparty GST and transporter name, transporter detail, and vehicle number and summary also.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar session. We are wrapping up. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you all the speakers and panelists. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.